Alright guys, welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be going over Sprunke Definitive Phase 10. Now honestly, this is probably my favorite Definitive Phase mod so far. I especially like Wendy's design, but more about that later. The design, character designs, we'll get into that later. But, well, before this mod came out and before I played it, I actually made a video addressing my theories and the leaks. But now that has come out, I want to have a conclusion of this mod and my theories and stuff. So yeah, we're gonna look at designs today. I'm just on the Sprunke Phases fandom wiki. So yeah, let's get into it. First up, Orin. I learned that those are it's actually fungus and he's molding or decaying and it's not spores. So my theory about that was kind of wrong, but I kind of should have known. Whatever. And then Ratty. I was actually wrong about him. His jaw has been fully off now. He still has some organs left. His jaw hasn't fully fallen off yet, but I was partially right about his jaw falling off. But honestly, his sound actually kind of surprised me. And Clucker, not much to say about them. I think we kind of all expected this. And Killbot, not much either, but I do like his sound and his animation. And disclaimer, there's no Viger or Viegre or whatever. She's not in there. And Veneria actually kind of surprised me. Now, before the Definitive Phase 10 came out, there was a video that someone posted of Sprunke Definitive Phase 10 Veneria, and it was fan-made. And I thought it was going to be that, but turns out she looks almost exactly the same. Except, there's some weird purple thingy right here. I wonder what that is. Could that be like her mouth got ripped off and that's her blood? Is her blood purple? I honestly don't know, but let's move on to Gray, who also surprised me. Now, at first, I thought his leak looked a lot different. The leak I got had bandages and his face was crying and stuff, and he also had a gun, but now it's different. So my theory here is that Gray healed, though he healed when he got scratched in Phase 5, so he was able to take the bandage off, but he might be fighting Wenda because he looks a little more damaged than usual. And I don't know if right there that's his blood or someone else's blood, like Wenda's blood. But let's move on. Now, Brud, I am honestly surprised that he's in the ghost yet. Sky is the first one to become a ghost, and yet a bunch of Sprunkes are way more decayed than Sky and deceased, and they still aren't a ghost. But I'm pretty sure Brud is going to be a ghost in Definitive Phase 11, because it goes all the way until Definitive Phase 12. Definitive Phase 12 is the final phase. You can barely hear him whenever you make a mix with Brud in it. And Garnold, actually, Garnold looks like he's fully demolished, like Durple bit him. Or I've learned that Durple bit him once again in one of my videos. And I also learned that, okay, I'm just stuttering right now. Anyways, not much to say. He's just decaying. He'll probably become a ghost soon. But I did like his sound. And it walks. Wow, at this point, he's just becoming Ratty. Like Ratty from Definitive Phase 7. Not much to say, except that, yeah, he's fully decaying. His eyes are looking a little off. And he doesn't even have any his body anymore. I think he's on his way to becoming a ghost. And the only lower body part of him are only organs and rib cages. In Sky, he actually kind of surprised me because when I looked at the leak, it said, "I won't forgive" when he has text. But in this one, he said something like "bastard," which that surprised me. And you can also barely see him. He'll probably fade away by Phase 12 to 11, Definitive. I did like his design. And finally, I don't think anyone was surprised by Mr. White Dwarf's design. I mean, we got his leak a long time ago. It looked like this. Durple surprised me. His sound is actually quite nice. It looks like he got injured here. My theory is that my new theory is that now I know that I checked out the gallery about Mr. Black. I know that he's not the one who attacked Durple, but it actually could have been Killbot because he could have been sawed by Killbot. But the weird thing is that he has red blood on his razors and he has purple blood and glowing blood. And again, with the Sky theory, Mr. Tree is way more decayed than Sky, and he's still not a ghost. Like, can trees turn into ghosts? At this point, his sound is good, but I don't use him a lot in any of my mixes whenever I play the game. And at this point, I don't even think you can see his upper jaw anymore. And I did like Simon's design. I mean, I did like his sound too. But can someone tell me when he becomes a ghost? I mean, at this point, he is somewhat more or less decayed than Sky. But he probably still has more time than someone like Tunner before he decays. And this is probably by far one of my favorite sounds besides Draco. But you can see right here, these gray specks. I think that's either he's decaying or it's just that those are a bunch of holes because his entire screen is gray, which that's most likely. And his sound was actually good. I used it in the mix I used for Sprunke Definitive Phase 10. Mr. Fun Computer Design, but something's deeper. So once again, I forgot he existed, but then something's a little surprising here. You know, in the last phase, he only had part of him left. But now he has 2 parts of him. And back then, he only had 1 part of him, so what could have happened? Did he get split into 2? Last time I checked, Black was losing his power, so how could he have done that? And we can go on to my favorite design, which is Wenda. She's going insane at this. What is this caption? I want my iPad back? Damn, dude, that is totally relatable. She's just going insane at this point. This is literally what Gen Alpha is like when you take away their iPad. I am not joking. And Pinky's design. Pinky's sound is actually nice. But I'll be waiting for when she comes into a ghost, turns into a ghost and stuff. Let's make this quick. Jevin, no one's surprised. His leak came a long time ago. And his animation and sound. Mr. Black, however, the last time I checked, he looked way more damaged than this. I learned that he's losing his power and stuff once again, so yeah. Oh, looks like his tie got bitten. It looks like he's getting bitten or something. Gerbonk, this one surprised me because his leak looked a little different. I know the photos were bad quality in my last video about this, but I never expected him to look like this. I think someone might have redesigned him because his skin looks a little smoother. There's less blood on him and stuff. So yeah. And Yin Yang looks like he kind of got bitten. And he's holding a shotgun instead of an AK-47. And then Sayori, she's well on her way to becoming a ghost once again, not much to say. But Mr. A surprised me. The photos weren't actually good quality. This is one of my, it kind of reminds me, his design kind of reminds me of like a whale, the water. You probably don't know what I'm saying right now. I learned that he's originally a survivor, but then was infected by Durple, and then he was killed by Jevin and Gray from the statuses. And I never thought he had hair because, remember, the quality wasn't good. Make this quick. This guy, I forgot what his name was, or she surprised me because in Sprunke Definitive Phase 9, I thought she was dead. Like, how can someone survive having their ribcage ripped open and having a pole stabbed in their head? I mean, last time I checked, Orin died a long time ago in Phase 2, but she survives it. Her sound is actually good. Go check it out. And Blurry, this guy looks like he's already injured. Once again, they introduce new OCs and usually don't introduce them ever again. You can barely hear a sound when you pair him with other characters like her, but I digress. And then here's my favorite OC, Draco. His sound is actually fire. It's actually cool. Well, you can check it out. It's my opinion. And Mach. This kind of surprised me how she didn't have an animation. And her sound's a bit different than I expected. I thought it was going to be more like Frazzle Dazzles, but whatever. And then finally we have Lavenda. I didn't know that you needed a code to get her. It's called Lavenda is so Sigma. Well, you have to type in Lavenda so Sigma for the code. But this is what it looks like. She's well on her way to becoming a ghost, like I said in my other video. Anyways, that was the confirmation video for Sprunke Definitive Phase 10. So yeah, go play it or something. Goodbye.